Hi, we are Create or Die. This is our podcast. I think it's the first proper episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is everybody?
I'm Jasmine. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm 17.
Yeah. I'm Spider. I'm 16. I go by he, him.
I'm Anaya. I am 19. I go by she, her.
And I am Lacoris. I'm 17 and I go by she, they.
Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about creativity because it's fitting given our name and stuff.
Well, I feel like we've planned this podcast for a while now. I remember when we first met with the whole group, like, we just had like an instant vibe, and like we would go off topic talking about a whole bunch of things, but like we were like, oh, we should like start a podcast and stuff like that. And then we finally got the chance to when we were like given like a grant from TELUS. So now that we actually are doing it, it's kind of surreal. It's been long awaiting, so yeah, that's why I feel nervous, but I don't know about you guys.
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Same thing, right? Yeah.
No, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Mm-hmm.
But no. And then, are you nervous?
I'm really nervous.
Really nervous?
Don't know any of y'all.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
In like 10 minutes, we'll all be fine.
Yeah.
Like, great.
Okay.
But no. So, create or die.
Create or die. How did
does
Create
that
or Die
mean?
come along?
So, when did we start Film Labs, which was
That was like last March? April?
March, yeah, and then it was
Okay,
just you
that
and
was
me.
crazy because so Indy, who is basically our facilitator and the person who's guiding us and directing us with all of these projects,
And doing a very good job, thank you.
yeah, so was running a program called the Film Labs. And so the Film Labs was basically put out there as like a
Youth film program.
where you get to learn how to make
pictures,
films, not movies, but like video and
photography
photography.
stuff. Yeah.
Creating all these things.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
No, I found it because I did a program, like the kind of higher up program that Indy was running Film Labs through. I did a mural for them.
Yeah.
And then I got on their email list, and they were like, "Hey, we're doing like this
And
this
a new
film
program.
thing." Yeah,
right.
so I showed up, and it was you and me.
Yeah, I
And you
remember
in a-
going
in a
there and I
very-
was like, oh, it's just this this older guy, and then
Like,
and
who is
then
this?
there's Spider, and I was
Yeah,
like,
we're like,
okay,
"Hi."
chill.
What is this?
I was like really intimidated by it at first because I was like, this is something I want to do, but I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to do it. So I was like, yeah. But I was so happy once I got there. I was like, oh, we could actually do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, no. And then
It was us for like another week, maybe.
yeah, and then I think Ishad. Who
Yeah,
was the next
Ashad.
person?
Yeah, it was Ashad.
Yeah.
So Ashad's gonna probably come on the podcast later on because he was a part of that group. But yeah, Ashad came on, and it was the three of us. And then who did I invite? I think I invited Angeli after that.
Yeah. So we've been gathering people. I think how many do we have right now?
So
Counting you, 1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 5.
More than 6.
About 7, 8.
Yeah.
I don't know.
7, 8,
7,
yeah.
8 people. But
Yeah, but at
now-
first it was just like
Yeah.
the three of us, Spider, Ashad.
No, I
me.
got to know about the film
And
lab.
then yeah,
'cause
so
of
I brought in like a whole
Jasmine.
bunch of my friends because I was
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
I was
I
like,
found
that
it
could be
really
cool.
interesting because like I love photography, so it was really nice that
No,
that
because I
there's,
was like,
a
I remember
proper
there was a
space.
time where like Indy was like, you guys should go promote this around your school or whatever. So I did. I went around and like told all my friends, and they're like, oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I brought in some people. So. And then from there, the Film Labs, we transitioned into Create or Die because now we're kind of running our own program, right? And yeah, should we talk about like the name and
Well,
stuff?
how are you here?
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm here. I scrolling on TikTok one day. This dude came up on my For You page with a really cool song. So I hit him up. We started working. And then Matt, 86
Yeah.
Love. He's over
Off
there.
camera.
And then through 86, Indy was introduced to me. You were in my listening party for one of my EPs, and after that, you like hopped on call with me, and we talked about doing like a video or something.
Ooh.
And over time, I was in the Creator Die Discord server. Wasn't really active. I would hop on call with Indy sometimes, but that's really it.
And now you're here to talk about creativity with us, which is, I don't know if we said that. It's the topic for today.
Oh, yeah, that is the topic.
Creativity.
Yeah.
Just
Um,
What
remind
does
you
creativity
guys.
mean to you? and,
Yeah,
like,
creativity. Because we're all creative in like different ways.
In our own ways, yeah.
for sure.
But no. Yeah.
Should we talk about the name?
Sure. But
Create or die?
Indy, our facilitator, runner, dude, what do you want to be called?
Boss, our boss.
The old guy.
He's a millennial, but like we consider him old because
He's old.
you know.
That's
The
old.
Brit.
Yeah, and he's British.
No, he was born in 19 something. That's old.
On a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
He specifically says Tuesday.
Specifically on
Okay.
Tuesday. But no, he came up with the name, and we all loved it because we all thought that, it was.
It was something that
Yeah.
resonated with us,
especially
right?
when Indy said that it's like I would rather like create something. If not, then I would rather die. That was good.
that what
Like,
he
yeah.
Is that what he said?
I
But
really
it's
liked
like-
that.
I feel like he talked more about it being like a need of like, I need to do this thing.
Yeah,
It's a drive
to
that I
ha-
have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not just
Compassion.
like a little, I'm going to go on a hike, It's not like that. It's like something that
It's
is
like
deeply,
life.
yeah, it's like deeply personal and something that you do a lot of and that means a lot to you and that has helped you through a
Yeah.
lot. And we all thought that was a lovely meaning. So
Yeah.
I feel
that's
like,
why we're
I
called
feel
what
like
we
it's
are.
definitely something I can relate to. Like I feel like everybody goes through like hardships and whatnot, but like creativity is definitely an outlet for me, and I feel like there's just so much power
Yeah.
in like creating things, but then creating things for the purpose of like, I don't know, for just like the better, like helping
Yeah.
people or
Yeah.
helping resonate that with people or
And
whatever
it's
message
a really
you want.
good coping mechanism as well. Like just be creative, express
Yeah.
yourself in different ways. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Speaking of, what's your favorite creative project you worked on? I don't know. So, like, what's your
creative.
favorite creative project? Either because it's meaningful or because you really enjoyed the results or the people, or like, what was your favorite thing?
I don't know
that
if
you
I've
did?
ever really made a project. Like, actually, no, I have. I do many things. I feel like poetry is definitely like an ongoing thing for me. It doesn't really feel like a project because what I do is I just have my notes app and I just like write things. Like
Yeah.
a lot. It's like basically my journal, and like I plan to like post it maybe or like create something, or like maybe like when I'm older I'll make like a book or whatever. I made a documentary about how a lot of people around the world don't have like clean water or whatever, but and then I linked that to like how people don't have clean water, like Indigenous people in Canada are like, they don't have clean, not all Indigenous people, but a lot of the reserves don't have clean water. So I made a documentary about that. That was like one of my favorite projects. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
And do you? Where are we going?
I think my favorite project is an EP I made called La Chorus. It was an EP about like coming out as trans and every bit of like hard that is, whether it's the actual like being trans part or just the mental like weight of it, and knowing like what can happen to you and like how your life is going to change after it. And that's
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know, like doing a bunch of group projects was really nice. Like I personally love making collages. I used to make digital collage. Like I've made a lot, but then I kind of loved that. It gave me this weird sense of achievement that, oh yeah, I can like put things together and design it and color coordinate it. So I feel like I
Actually
definitely.
despise collages.
Oh my god.
Not that I despise it. I'm just not. I don't know.
It's not your thing.
Yeah,
It's not
and,
my
like,
thing.
Oh yeah,
But
it's
I
not
like
everybody's
the
thing.
cutting up part, like where you have scissors and you just
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
That's
the hard
fine.
part because you have to like cut and then
You have to
paste.
cut around and you have to be
Yeah,
focused.
that's where
right?
digital collage is easier,
Yeah.
but
'Cause you
I
can
still
just, like-
prefer cutting one, cut and paste. I
Mhm.
love that one more. And writing, one
yeah,
of my
Naya
like,
also writes a lot of poetry. Let's go.
yeah, one
Yeah,
of
two
my like
poets.
best friends got me into poetry like years ago, and forever grateful for that.
Do you want to do a shout out? Who's your friend?
Sure. Shout out to you, friend. You know I'm talking about you, but yeah, it's good. I like to write. It feels really like, I don't know, it's a really
Therapeutic?
good form of expression. Like just
Yeah.
write.
I think that my favorite one was a story I did, like a short story for school, and I have a really hard time finishing projects. And I for 3
Wait, are you like
years,
you're like a perfectionist, right?
Yeah, I have a problem with not handing things in because it's fully done. I just don't like it. It's a really big problem.
Yeah.
That's
But
understandable.
it was the first story that I had handed in 3 years that I had written to any kind of school, and my teacher absolutely loved it. And she told me I should be a writer, and she told me, and she was just like so good. And I was like in 8th grade, I think, and I thought that it was like, it's the first time anybody was like, oh, like you're actually like you're good enough, you know, where it's like something you made has sustenance. It's not just like a little doodle or whatever, and you can like, I have a really hard time articulating myself, so to know that like I
You
could
felt
get
like
it
a
across
sense
was
of
like,
yeah,
that was like something where I was like, oh, I like actually
Yeah.
can do this, and like I don't write a lot, but like I thought that it was that was something that was impactful.
I definitely understand that struggle though, like trying to articulate yourself. I feel like, cause yeah, I feel like through writing, it's like, yeah, that's an ongoing struggle for me too.
Yeah, which also reminds me, like you said, your teacher. So like having a good support system is really important. See, like if you are not able to articulate, maybe the support system around you will like help you. You know, they can encourage you to like.
And just because you can't
really
articulate in one way doesn't mean you can't articulate
Articulate in
and-
another, right?
Yeah, and
Exactly.
having people who are open to listening to you in the way that you feel you can articulate yourself is really
Yeah.
important.
It is important. I feel like in class, there's a lot of, well, this is kind of going to the school topic, but like, I feel like in class, there's times where like, so I was like in an AP class this year or whatever, and I don't know, it just felt different because I felt intimidated by my peers or whatever, and also the teacher, and I feel like around certain people, I will talk, but then in that class setting, I wouldn't. And then the teacher would be like encouraging me to speak more or whatever, but like I felt like, you know, I couldn't or whatever. It was a weird setting, but I feel like when you're around the right people, especially I feel like around like this group of people, I feel like I can talk more. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
What's something that like started your creative, like did you ever like sit down and you were like, I want to do this seriously, or like, oh, this is something that I like, or like what was the first time where you had like a kind of aha moment or like whatever with your creativity where you were like, like this is something that I want to do?
So growing up, I was always a very creative person. I bounced around between a lot of different things. For a couple years, I did animation. I did graphics and like Photoshop, and I wanted to get into like visual effects, writing, all of that. I just bounced around until I eventually landed on music, which was, it started as like a coping mechanism because I was about 11 at the time and my dad recently passed away. And there was a whole lot of stuff going on around it, and it was just kind of like an escape for me. And that was when I was like, oh, this might be what I want to do. And I've been doing it ever since.
Wait, so how did you like start creating music? Like, did you already learn like an instrument, or did you have like the software or something?
So I knew a little bit of guitar, but I wasn't like great at it or nothing. I ended up just downloading this really really low par like DAW digital audio workstation and just kind of messing around on it. And then like I had no software. I had like the worst laptop. I had worst everything, but I just made it work over time. I ended up upgrading a lot of stuff. And yeah.
That's so cool. Naya?
For me, like I always had this like need to be creative, and I knew I was creative in some ways, but I didn't really know what like I want to like show my creativity through, right? So I think that like need really kind of like it drives me to be like more creative and do something which satisfies me. Like I tried making like bunch of like Instagram accounts and posting my digital collage, but it just didn't work. I didn't want to like show my work to anyone. I was like, no, I just want to keep it to myself as long as it just satisfies me. So I do creative things because of that, which is like, yeah, that's how I feel like it started for me.
I've always wanted to like make something, like just something. I didn't care what, if it was writing or clothes or drawing. I've always just wanted to create things and put them out, and just do not put them out, but just like make things. Like I always, when I was a kid, was like fiddling with things, or like I would like again with you, I was bounce around with like a lot of different things. And I think when I was in like middle school, like early middle school, like 7th grade, I like it really, where I was like doubled down and was like, no, I like want to study this, and I want to actually put effort into this, and I want this to be my thing, and I want this to be something that I do in my life.
I feel like creativity is such like a powerful drive.
It is.
Like it's actually crazy, like the things you can create. But for me, I feel like when I was little, I remember like I really look up to my brother. Shout out to my brother. But he was always like the very, I don't know, like he was always like the very creative person in our family. He can just like because we all, like me and my brother play piano, right, ever since we were little. And he can just like write up songs like really like just on the spot, like instantly. And then he was also like crazy into drawing. Like he would just like draw buildings every single day, like Lego. Like he was obsessed with buildings, drawing buildings. And I was just like, oh my god, that's so cool. And I don't know what I did at that time. I was probably like 3 or whatever, but I totally looked up to him. And I remember thinking, I want to be that person. Like, I want to create too. Like, I want to be known for like creating things too and being that creative person. Because like I totally look up to my brother, but I think there's also like an innate drive in me. But I think throughout school, like I could definitely see how like, I don't know, I like to make things look pretty, like on like my projects and stuff like that. Like I'm into that like visual aspect, right? But I think so for me, I was going through like a drug withdrawal for like this medication I was taking for my skin. So during that time, it was like that was like one of the hardest moments in my life. But like during that time, I definitely used creativity as an outlet. I remember listening to like music like literally every single day because that was my coping mechanism. And then I realized I could like write poetry. Like there was just like this one day where like I started writing poetry. It was actually crazy. I just like started writing things that were like running through my head, and I was like, what? This is crazy. Like I can actually just like write on the spot. Like
I love your poetry.
Yeah, and I would literally show it to my mom, and I was like, what the heck did I just write? Like I didn't even know what I just wrote.
So for me, it's definitely my mom. She's like coolest person I know. When I first told her that I wanted to start music, because, well, for one, my whole family's musicians. On my mom's side, like my grandma used to play in like bars when she was my age. My mom was in a million bands and stuff. And when she heard that I wanted to start it, she got me my first laptop. the audio interface I still use to this day, the
That's
microphone I
nice.
use. She got me pretty much everything that I needed to get started, and she's the reason why I do it and the why I still do it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, that is
That's
so
so real
cool.
though. Shout out to moms.
Yeah.
Moms.
Shout out
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
no.
all the supportive
She also
parents
gave me
out
this
there.
really cool last name too. So
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no. I feel like it's a teacher from grade 8 who kind of, I went through some stuff when I was a kid, and he was the first person who ever noticed and then asked about it and like made sure I was okay. And like for the whole year I was in his class, he was really lovely, and he helped me talk to my parents, and he got me into therapy, and he was like, you know, he gave me all of that kind of stuff. And he's not creative, but he does inspire me because he's just such a kind person. You know, like that's what the effect that I want to have is not nurturing people, but like
supportive.
you know, like I want people to feel like how I felt when he talked to me, you know, where it was like I feel safe and I feel heard, and I think he's really inspiring because he like isn't like, if you look at him, you're like, you're not like, he's a hockey dude, he's like a dad in his 40s, and he like you know, like you look at him and you're not like, oh, you'd be like really good with trans stuff, you're like you wouldn't know that about him, but he's just so, I feel like, kind to every student that he meets and every person that he comes into contact with, and I think that that's something that I really want to carry through with my life, and I think that you know,
That's
do you think with that like safe feeling that he gave you, is that what you are trying to do with like your art?
of just like, I want someone to feel seen with like a painting I do, or like something, you know, like that's the effect that I want to have. I don't particularly care about how I do it, I just want to have that effect.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, what's something that you wish would have been done that didn't happen, or that was lacking, or that should have been done sooner? Like, what's something
Like, you mean
that you wished you had as a kid for your creativity, or like you as a person of like, this thing was lacking?
I feel like my creative journey is still like ongoing. So
Oh, it always is.
yeah, I don't really know if there's something like
I wish I wasn't so scared for so long.
That's true.
Because like, you're always scared of judgment. You're always scared of like someone who's better than you,
Or, like,
saying
vulnerability.
it's bad and stuff. I wish that I didn't feel that a little bit earlier, just because it definitely stopped me from doing a lot that I feel like would have really pushed me forward.
Yeah, just like those judgment-free spaces where it's
that's
like,
why
you don't have to be Picasso on the first day, you
Yeah.
know, of like you are, especially us because we're kids. It's not like you're 90
we're
or
young.
whatever. And if you start when you're 90, still same thing. You should be in a space that like allows you to fail and allows you to be not your greatest, and still
allows you to still grow.
and still grow, and still makes you feel like you're not any less than anybody else.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, it's like really tempting to master like every skill, right? So I think I wish I would have like known sooner that I want to like be creative, so I could have like improved on certain aspects of it, but at the same time I feel like everything has its own time, right? So it's like
That's
ongoing journey. I can't now change the past, but it's like better late than never, right? So I'm happy with what I am doing right now.
I really wish that I had like kind of that support group that you were talking about, where it's like when I was like 10 or whatever,
younger,
it was like
right?
you can paint, or like, you know, and it's like just that safe feeling where you're not feeling like you need to make the greatest piece of art ever seen, because art doesn't have to be good. It can just be for you, and if you enjoy creating it, even if you hate the ending of it, even if you don't like looking at it, it's just the act of creating
Yeah.
is therapeutic to you, I feel like you should be in a space that lets you do that.
Yeah, I feel like having like when I joined like the film labs, before that I said I was like sort of intimidated because I was like, what type of people are they? Like they're probably gonna be like, I don't know, like, you know, you just set out like an image of people and you're like, okay, they're gonna be like this, right? But when I joined the film labs, I remember that day I was so happy that I pushed myself to go out of my comfort zone to actually do this, and I felt really supported there. You know, like I never felt so seen. Like the fact that there's other people like me who also want to create and feel like they need a space or whatever. But given that opportunity to join the film labs and to be here with like, you know, a group of creatives is just like, I feel like such a blessing. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. And I feel like it came at the right time for me. Yeah. In my life. So, yeah,
That's true.
I almost kind of feel that way about like me being here today.
yeah.
I wanted to I had this like I wanted to wear like the clothes I normally wear, which are like upcycled, ripped up patch pants. And I didn't wear
got
them
something in common.
I was nervous, and I saw you walk in with
You're
your
like,
pants,
oh,
and I
okay,
was
it's
like,
fine.
I should have just worn them because I was nervous that like none of you guys would like pretty much just what you said. I was just like nervous that everyone would be like,
What are you wearing?
yeah, what are you wearing?
No,
But
I get that. Like, you know, sometimes people will judge you, you know, and like you just can't let them.
Yeah, and
you
it's
know,
like so
get to
crazy
you.
that we like most of the times feel so intimidated by other creative people.
Yeah.
Or like we have like so many things in common, struggles being one of them, and yet we feel so intimidated. Like
but
you
then
said,
at the same time, we share the
Yeah,
same struggles, right? And I
true.
feel like
which really
I don't know.
unites like many people too.
yeah,
I feel like.
I don't know. Recently, I was like thinking, you know, what type of people I want to be surrounded with, you know? Because I feel like, especially in high school or, you know, when you're just out in that world, like, there's just so many different types of people, right? And I was thinking about, you know, there's certain groups of people that, you know, I don't necessarily like, but I was thinking, you know, there's always that question, like, who is like my people, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like just being surrounded by creative people, I just feel like I can resonate. Like I can just, you know, resonate. Yeah.
Yeah. And something I try to do is I always I'm like, oh, I wish I had seen people like me, or I wish that like blah, 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 or like I had been with these people. I try to be that. Like that is exactly what I want, where it's like, oh, that person's like in a Walmart looking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's
But
what I want.
they
Somebody being
look
like,
so
oh,
sick
like,
though. Yeah.
that's
It's kind of
good. Or,
validating too,
yeah,
right?
or
Like,
like-
oh, I
or
see
like I
you.
use the men's bathroom. Do I look like a man? No, but like that's what I want. Is I want other people to be like either like, oh, like this isn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this person's just like existing, and it's like
Just
fine.
you
Or
being
somebody else
you.
like me being like, oh, look, they can do it. Like,
Yeah.
so I try to do things that like that's how I think about it, because like I have a hard time like going out or like doing like, you know, like that kind of stuff. I have, but I try to frame it where it's like I wish I had seen somebody else do it, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I find that
you're like your own inspiration.
yeah, like I try to do that kind of stuff, and I find it easier if I frame it for myself in that way. 'Cause
That's
then
really
I'm
cool,
not doing it
though.
because it's like, oh, I should be able to do this. It's like for other.
And that's where
people.
like I feel like social media really plays a big part, right? Like even if you don't have like such kind of like validation in your surrounding, you can always go on social media and see that there are people who
See
share same
yourself in
experiences
other
as
people.
you.
For the better or good in some situations,
Yeah.
but most,
Yeah.
of the time,
True.
most of the time good. Where you can,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think completely leaving reality. What is like your dream, like the goal for Create or Die? Like, what do you want to do?
Future
If,
endeavors.
that's the goal. Future endeavors.
The dream.
The dream.
The team.
Yeah. What?
The dream team, guys.
It could like sort of act as an awareness as well. Like if we bring in a bunch of people and they can like talk about their experiences, it could be like, okay, other people that want to get into like their like want to explore their creative sides would like feel good that they're not alone. There are other people
You're
as
not
well.
alone.
Yeah, I definitely want to open up Creator Diet
Yeah.
where it's like we have maybe more people or more of a capacity for more people, or just like have maybe a separate thing where it's like a space or a program or like something for other people, because I do think that it's really important that
Yeah, I feel like it's important to talk about like, I don't know, the Calgary art scene or whatever, because I feel like on the surface level it's like not as apparent.
yeah,
I
it's
feel
not
like it's I don't know, this might just be me or I don't know much about it, but like I feel like it's kind of like underground. So I feel like we could like bridge that gap, you know, and bring in like cool music artists and stuff and underground artists. So yeah.
we got one sitting right there.
Yeah. Hickey.
Done. What's the next one?
Definitely what she was saying, because being an artist in Calgary, especially because I make kind of like a niche kind of music. I do a lot of like harder hitting trap stuff. Really difficult to find people to work with here.
Right.
I haven't found anybody who is a part of my niche here, which
and I feel like even so, like even if there were other people, like maybe like there's not like that bridge, you know?
what platform
like
do they have to
yeah,
like interact with each
it's
other
like
and
hard
stuff?
to like bring that
It's
together.
very much
hey?
like an ins group, like a you
Yeah.
know, where it's like if you're
And
not
I
in,
feel
you're
like
not in. You don't
I feel like
know.
if you think about like other cities, maybe like there's like more structure around like, you know, other art groups or whatever who are like able to, you know, there's already like some sort of infrastructure where like musicians can come together, or like people have already created that like platform, you know? But I feel like Calgary could, you know, there's still a need for that maybe.
100%.
Yeah. And I feel like we could definitely bring that in. Like I remember we talked about like you know, like colors, like it's like on YouTube, and then they bring in like a whole bunch of music artists or whatever, and they have like a background where like it's like different colors for every single artist or whatever, but then they come in and then they do like a live performance of their
Talking about like double XO.
What's that tiny table thing?
Yeah, sort of like tiny
Isn't
table,
that what
but
it
like
is?
there's like multiple, like they're basically, it's like live performances, like
Live
and it's really
performances
cool.
would be cool.
And I
Go,
feel like
right now, on
if
the
we
spot.
could bring in like
Yeah,
I'm not prepared. Calm down.
right now, let's do it right now. No, but I feel like that'd be really cool if we could do that and get people to know, like people in Calgary to know this is what's going on, you know, this is what's going on in the music scene or the different art scene or whatever, or in the film scene, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of creative people. I just feel like we need to bridge that together. Yeah.
I definitely want to do like projects with you guys. It's not necessarily the podcast where it's like I want to do like film stuff again. Where it's like, like you know, I want to do that kind of stuff, and I'm very excited to do the merch. I'm very
I feel like we thought about a lot of like other ideas before. Like what were some of the ideas we wanted to do?
I don't know.
I mean, before this, we did like we made what do you call it? A photo booth.
Yeah, we've done photo booths before.
That was fun, actually.
was
I like that.
For Contemporary Calgary, which is the people that housed us
Before, yeah.
which are very cool people. Go to that museum.
Yeah, go
gallery,
check their
whatever.
gallery out.
If you
Yeah.
can.
That space.
It's not a museum.
It was actually a really nice space there.
Yeah, no, they're very nice.
We also, we shot a music video for Look Alive. Yeah.
That's cool.
That was a lot of fun. And it was really cool. I feel like we also kind of got like a live performance aspect because we were filming it.
Yeah.
So like we could like,
Yeah, no, I think that would be cool if we like not only just interviewed people, but like also did music videos for them, or like gave them access to film equipment, or like that kind of stuff, where it was more like we're not just interviewing them,
I feel like showcasing that art you know?
Yeah, I feel like that would be really cool.
I feel like with Create or Die, I feel like a lot of what Indy was talking about before was like having a space where like creatives, especially young people, could come in and just like work on their stuff, you know, and be like, oh, I'm working on this. I kind of need like this equipment or whatever, you know, because a lot of equipment or whatever stuff you need to create things is usually, you know, expensive, right? And not everybody can afford that. So like I feel like given those things or whatever, you can create more easily. And I feel like that's kind of what we're gearing for, you know, being able to bring everyone together to create what they want to create.
Yeah, I feel like there's either you're in a youth program where you're like doing assigned things where it's like we're doing XYZ, but there's not a lot of spaces for youths, but artists in general to just be like, I don't have a camera, and I like,
I just need
or
this.
like I don't even know how one works. Like,
or I want this to look a certain way, or I want to like, you know.
Yeah, where it's that support group we were talking about, where it's like other people who, even if you're a musician, like we've been talking about, you can go and be like, I need help with a music video, you know, or if you're like, I'm painting, I need somebody to build a frame for me, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's just like taking a sprinkling of everybody, all the artists in Calgary, and making
that would be like so great. Like, there's nothing holding you back from creating something. That's something I feel like a younger me would have loved to have.
Oh, another thing I really want to do is like to shoot or like take photos at like concerts.
Concert photo. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or like
that's
any
just
event.
me. That's like that's on my bucket list.
Cool.
Like, you know,
I really want to do that.
The markets, the summer markets, like just go and like take photos there.
No,
that
I saw
would
one of the guys I follow. He's like I don't know. I think he's known around like the Calgary music scene or whatever, or like Calgary art scene. But like he did like he was at the Stampede or whatever, and he shot for like I think Tyga or something like that. And his photos look so good. So like, yeah.
Like, what are some of the things which hold you back as creative youth?
I feel like in general, like access to supplies and everything. Like even if if I were to go and rent a camera, like if I wanted to shoot a music video for my friend or something, like I feel like there's not somewhere if you don't have somebody in your immediate family or somebody who you are like friends with. There's no one to kind of teach you how to like use this or where to access it. Like, even if like, I feel like there's just no kind of unstructured, but like, support group that, you could go to with like kind of any question. And where it's not like, we're doing this assignment. It's like, how can we help you do what you want to do? That kind of stuff. I feel like that would be really helpful when I was a kid, where it was like, you know, because I've gone to like art groups and I've done like all of that stuff, and other than film lab, there wasn't one that was like, what do you want to do? You know, like I go to an art school, but it's like you're there to learn art. Like you're there not to. They always say you're there to learn art, not create art at this school.
It's such a weird thing, though.
Yeah, no, but you're like, you know, I feel like there's not a lot of spaces where if like I'm a kid and I want to create something and I actually want to like have a gallery or I want to sell clothing, like I feel like there's not a lot of that transitional help. And even for adults, like that would be really hard if you wake up and you're like, I want to start creating things. Like, where do you start? You know, there's not a place for you to go.
It's like they don't want to give you that like power, you know, that ability to like do whatever you want. I mean, that's fair, but like,
who's they?
Or I don't know.
Who's they?
I feel like something that holds me back a lot is when you are doing a lot of your art mainly through things like social media, it's really hard to gauge how many people like your art. And it's really hard to also not take those numbers personally, whether for like negative, like, oh, not enough people are listening, or like where there's a lot of people listening, and then you have this giant ego that you need to get rid of,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that definitely. It definitely stops me from doing a lot, because like for right now I haven't really released anything because I had a really bad song I don't like go crazy on like TikTok.
Oh,
and
what do you
stuff.
mean? How could a bad song go crazy though?
There's a lot.
it was
Not
a-
every song on TikTok is a good
I
one.
mean, that's
There's
true.
a lot of bad ones.
Well, like-
You're like,
was-
what is this thing?
It was a joke song I made for
Uh-huh.
mixing practice. It's like a gay freestyle.
Okay.
I posted it as a joke, and the video got I think 130,000 views
Oh.
and like 50,000 likes. People telling me to drop it, so I was
You're
like,
like, oh no.
so I had to ride that for as much as I could, and then people who were listening to that didn't like my actual music, which is that's why I'm not
I
dropping right
see.
now, because I'm still kind of like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I had
Yeah.
eyes on me for
Like,
what I do not want
not like
eyes on me
How
for.
do you
Snippets.
play those two different, playing fields
Yeah.
where like you want to be like yourself, right? Like you want
Mhm.
to put out what you like, but then there's also the level of like what people like, right?
Yeah.
Or what they want from
And
you.
it's like really hard to match
yeah.
that. It's
It is weird. I feel that way too. I feel like I don't know, as a perfectionist, I'm definitely like I want to perfect it to my level. But then I also think about, how like to what extent would other people like this or whatever, right? And I feel like that can really get to you, you know?
I feel like judgment-free spaces, like we were talking about, where it's like you're not like how much money you can make or how many views you are. Like we're here to help you develop as a creative and do what you want to do, which is difficult because you need to make money. You do,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
especially if you're an adult. You need to, like, if you really want to pour your heart into something, it's like you have a 40-hour job.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Like, how do you do
know?
that as a
So,
creative?
yeah, it's very hard to develop. Hi, but no, it's very hard to like
I don't know, but like,
develop.
yeah, because
yourself.
this like creating is something like I want to do as a job, and it's just like there's so many people out there just like you can't do this, if you go into art or whatever you're gonna be poor. Like I don't know, that's like what I keep getting, and then I'm like what do you mean? Like I don't know, this is something I want to do, like I don't think anything else can change my mind about that, but yeah.
I feel like I have a unique perspective on that, because like I'm 17, I'm not an adult, but I work 40 hours a week. I'm moving out right now.
Right.
I'm going through like all of that. We got evicted. A lot of stress. It's really hard to keep up with art and like just wanting to make it.
Right.
Like there's a lot of things that I could be talking about, because like for me, art is an outlet. It's like the only way I get my emotions out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I could be talking about, but it's like I don't have the motivation to. It's like situations is like another thing that stops me, I think,
It's
as
tough.
It
I feel
is.
like people definitely go through creative blocks too, That's definitely a thing. Like, I don't know. For me right now, I don't know. There was a time where like I felt like a lot of pressure to create, and by the end of it, I didn't create anything. And I just hate that feeling too. It's like you just set out to do all these things, but then you're just like, oh, but I didn't make anything.
Yeah.
And then when you make it and you're like, oh, you're like, this is not good. Like, this is not good stuff, I don't know. It's just
No, to like emphasize more on your point about being yourself. I feel like once you are like doing something solely for the purpose of your own like satisfaction,
yeah.
you are passionate about that certain thing.
Right.
Like you said that you were pressured to create something and you ended up creating nothing, right?
Yeah.
Which makes sense. If you cater to like outside influence too much, then you will totally depend on other people's validation and not, you will just
Right.
forget about your own
That's
passion,
so true.
you know?
I feel like, I don't know. Yeah, when you're working through social media and stuff, you tend to forget that a lot. And
Yeah, true.
And just because something popular doesn't mean it's good, or just because
Exactly.
something's unpopular
True.
doesn't mean it's bad.
Exactly.
And I feel like there's so much like not stress, but like so much emphasis on like what your numbers are and like
Yeah, the
you know,
output,
competitive.
right?
which like I understand, like you give opportunities to people that other people like and other people connect with, but I feel like for smaller people who maybe haven't like developed themselves yet, or maybe aren't where they want to be, or are where they want to be but other people don't like it, you know, there aren't very many spaces for you to like further develop it. Like I feel like you already have to be good to get the opportunity to develop it. Like
Right.
you need
Right.
like we're not going to give money to somebody to make a music video if nobody listens to their music. Like
Right.
you know, I feel like we need more spaces for like people to be bad at art.
Yeah,
you know?
fail.
Like,
It's good to
and
fail,
to learn
yeah.
and to grow. You know, there's not
Yeah,
a lot of that.
I remember watching something. It was talking something on Instagram. It was talking. This guy was talking about how like, post things that are. It's okay to post things that are bad. Like just create and put it out there, and just like keep fueling that creative energy, because I don't know. He just said that, and I was
Yeah,
like,
at the end of the day, art is for the artist.
exactly.
Like it's
Yeah.
not for, you don't make art for other people.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know. That's something I'm still trying to figure out. Yeah.
I was really struggling this year because I'm in an intensive like art program or whatever, and I
Right.
sat down in
That sounds
January and was like,
hard.
have I drawn anything that wasn't for school?
right.
Like,
That's so true.
And I'm like really lucky, and I'm really glad that I go to this school because it's amazing, and we get to make really cool stuff and learn a lot of stuff and use new materials and whatever. But like I sat down and was like, have I actually done anything that I wanted to do?
Right.
Because like I'm in the weird transitional phase where like I'm not, my taste is so much higher than my ability. You know?
Oh, I
So I'm in
kind
that
of
weird
get
phase where I'm
that.
like, no, I know what I want to make. I'm just not able to make it
Yeah.
yet. And I'm in the weird learning phase that's like really annoying, where I like, no matter how hard I try, I just don't
Yeah.
have the skills yet.
Yeah.
And sitting down and learning the skills has been really hard
I
for
totally
me.
I
agree with
struggle with
that.
that too. Like I have ideas, but it's so hard to give them a proper shape. Like it's just, I don't know. It's weird.
I feel like, I don't know if this kind of relates, but like, I feel like being on social media a lot, for example, like Pinterest or like Instagram, like it gears you to like be like choose things and be like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this, right? So you figure out sort of like your own tastes and your own preferences, like this is the aesthetic I like, sort of thing. So that thing where like I feel like social media gears you in a way where like you're made to like, like your taste is like higher than like your ability.
I feel like all artists ever, or not even artists, like what you like and what you want to do is always going to be higher than your ability to do it.
Right.
I just feel like there's sometimes such a big gap in between it.
Yes.
Where like you can look at something and everybody, like even if somebody else is like, oh, that's shit, you're like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like it's not what I want to do, and knowing that in your head where you're like, I want to do so much better. And I feel like again we need spaces where people are allowed to just be bad,
No, but,
and you're allowed to
that's
develop your
just
taste and your ability and stuff.
And I
you
feel
know?
like that's a good thing too, because that way you are not competing with other people. You are like
you're on
focused
your
on
own journey,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
There's no unhealthy competition. You're just
Yeah.
comparing your own like abilities with like what
Yeah.
further you can improve on.
I totally agree with that.
If we only support the artists that are good, then we're never gonna have any artists.
No, never.
Because no artist starts out as good as they're gonna be.
Exactly.
Ever. Nobody starts out as good as they're ever gonna be. And we need.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely something that, I struggle with, because I feel like I have so many outlets for like creativity, and I'm like, oh, because I'm good at one outlet, I have to be good at another. It has to be like the same level, but it's not like that. And I think it's a learning curve, right?
If what we talked about, like a judgment-free space for artists to come and do their thing with other people, was a thing right now, what would y'all be doing?
I would be in it all day. No, I've been really into lino cut recently, and I want to get into paper making. And I think
Wait, what's lino cut?
lino cut is where you make stamps. Basically, you carve stamps into pieces of rubber, and you use them like stamps. It's
Is
just called
it
lino.
like that thing? Like I did this thing in like Chinese class or whatever, and like I had to engrave my name into the rubber. Is it like that?
Anjali and Maya.
What?
Hi.
What? You're joking? You're here? I thought you were in BC. Wait, what?
We're about to.
That's me. Hi.
What are these our
We got-
guests?
Okay.
Sit.
There.
Wait, they should make this is our guest appearance, guys.
Wow, our guest.
A long time
Hi.
awaiting.
More people on the.
How are you guys? Somebody sit over here, bruh.
Sorry. Yeah.
What the heck? Yeah, what? I'm like flabbergasted. I thought you guys were like.
We're special.
Okay, well, we're actually nearing the end of our podcast, but like, you guys will probably see them. You guys will probably see them later on.
Who are you guys?
Should we introduce them, or should we introduce them in the next episode? They'll be like.
My name.
We won't know who
Mystery
they.
people.
Yeah, mystery.
Mystery people.
Can they remain mystery? And then, okay, should we? Okay, fine. Introduce yourselves.
What's your name? Why are you late?
Yeah, why are you late?
Why you
Where
late?
were
Where
you?
were you? Where were
And
you?
why weren't you here?
Names and pronouns.
Yeah.
I'm Maya Volts. I'm a she/her, and
You're looking
I
at
was
that
late because I got to celebrate Stampede, and my ride was also late.
My name is Anjali. I go by she/her, and I was late because I was dropping my mom off at the airport. Ooh.
Wait, so where's your mom going?
She's going to India.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
How about nobody else is going with her?
No, it's just because like her
And wait,
parents
what happened to your BC trip?
got canceled. Stuff
Why?
happened in India, so she has to go now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Dang.
I know.
So
it's
wait,
been-
are you free next week?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So we've been talking about creativity. That's the one that
Okay.
we've been talking about.
Oh yeah,
today.
and they're a part of
Naya,
they're a
you're-
part of their.
Your roots are red. Did you dye your hair red?
God.
we haven't like had a
It
proper
didn't
family
appear.
reunion
It
in a
just
while.
appeared on
So
my
okay,
LinkedIn
so
answer.
okay, everybody. So we got
Okay.
guys.
So you came in late. However, the last question we were going to do before we wrapped up is, do you want to ask it or?
Vicky,
Yeah, he
Go
can
ahead,
ask
go
it.
ask it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were talking about like what we think Creator Die would be, and we kind of landed on like a judgment-free like community of people who can just kind of come in, do their thing with equipment and stuff. And the question is like, what would you be doing if that was a thing right now?
Yeah.
You two go first. If Creator Die was a space and
Be
we
put
had-
on the spot
yeah,
for being
go.
late.
Late. But no, if you had a studio space, what creative project would you do with it? Like if you just had a studio space to go.
Well, I joined this based on Angeli's recommendation about all the things I get to try out. And so when I joined, we got to do things I had never done before. So I'd be excited to do more of like just things that other people are interested in trying it out.
That was a lame answer.
Not really. Yeah, it was a good answer.
I would do something fun. I don't know, like an obstacle course, and we have like a whole reality TV show about it. I was thinking about something fun. Okay.
You know what? What is she on, guys? I don't know. What would
That's
I do
fair.
right now? I mean, there's a recording. If there was a recording studio, I would definitely try to do something in there.
With your poetry or like,
Or like
music? Or
yeah,
like-
music.
Music?
Like, try to
Oh,
make
cool.
a beat or something. I don't know.
That's cool. I'm really interested in like nature-based artwork. So like I've been looking into making paper out of plant fibers and
Oh, my
making
mom
ink.
used to do that.
Yeah, so I think that that's something that I would want to develop is art pieces, like lino cut art pieces on paper that I make with ink that I make. I think that that would be something that I would spend forever on because there's not really, I'm looking for ink that's like based on, it's the whole thing. I think I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would love to meet people with similar interests and like whatever projects you guys are doing, I would love to like record it and like just photograph it. That would be really nice. And then at the end, just like make a cool collage.
Yeah.
I love collages.
You could be our Instagram.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Or
Social
Instagram
manager.
coordinator. So yeah, I think like that's the end of our podcast. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I was pretty nervous about this episode, but now I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our latecomers were nervous too, right?
Latecomers were.
Were you guys
But that's
nervous?
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were nervous for like 5 minutes.
For the whole
Yes,
5
yeah.
minutes. You weren't here for like 2 hours.
Yeah. Came a little late,
Yeah,
But-
no. But if you're interested in joining our program, or you want our social medias, which
And
will-
you're like a youth.
if you're a
in
youth in Calgary and you're
Calgary.
interested and you want to get involved, go find us at our createordie.cc website. It will also have our social medias at some point. Yeah, that's the best place to find us.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
Thank
a
you for
wrap.
listening. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Which camera do we look at when we're waiting? You don't even wait.